Hi, I'm Luis Uribe, and I'm an SI tutor for Anatomy and Physiology, and I'm sponsored by the Office of Student Success. This is a brief overview of cellular respiration. Organisms require energy to perform the tasks that allow them to survive. At the cellular level, cells use the molecule adenosine triphosphate to fuel the processes that the cell undergoes. In order to walk, run, hunt, eat, digest, and even think, organisms must utilize ATP. The process of producing ATP is referred to as cellular respiration and is commonly divided into three parts. 1. Glycolysis. 2. The Krebs or citric acid cycle. And 3. The electron transport chain. In glycolysis, long glucose molecules are broken into smaller molecules of pyruvic acid to be used in the Krebs cycle. This process is an anaerobic process. Glycolysis occurs whether oxygen is present or not. We can divide the process into three major phases. 1. Sugar activation. In the first stage, glucose is activated by phosphorylation. 2. Sugar cleavage, where a 6-carbon long molecule is split into two 3-carbon molecules. 3. Sugar oxidation and ATP formation. In the third phase of glycolysis, the two 3-carbon fragments are oxidized by removing the hydrogen atom. Then, phosphate groups are attached to each of the 3-carbon fragments. The final products of glycolysis are 2 molecules of pyruvic acid and 2 molecules of NAD+. The Krebs cycle occurs in the mitochondrial matrix and is fueled largely by pyruvic acid produced during glycolysis. Both the Krebs cycle and electron transport chain are considered aerobic. The Krebs cycle is very complex, so we will only briefly describe it here. The Krebs cycle is sometimes called the citric acid cycle because citric acid is the first substrate produced in the process. As the cycle progresses through its 8 stages, the atoms of the citric acid are moved and rearranged to produce intermediate molecules. Many are referred to as keto acids. The products of the citric acid cycle are 2 carbon dioxide molecules and 4 molecules of coenzymes. The carbon dioxide is waste that is removed from the body, while the coenzymes are used in the electron transport chain. The role of the electron transport chain is to produce ATP by adding inorganic phosphate to ADP, or adenosine diphosphate. The electron transport chain pumps hydrogen from the matrix into the intermembrane space. This will create a gradient, which will force the hydrogen back across the membrane. The only areas along the membrane where the hydrogen can cross are protein complexes called ATP synthesis. When hydrogen molecules travel along the protein complex, they create an electrical current which is used to attach the phosphate group to ADP to form ATP. To summarize the process, glycolysis breaks down glucose to be used in the Krebs cycle. The Krebs cycle produces enzymes which are utilized by the electron transport chain to pump hydrogen across the inner membrane. The gradient will force these hydrogen ions into the protein complexes that synthesize ATP. The electrons passing through the complexes generates electrical energy, which is used to attach a phosphate group to ADP to form ATP. This process will yield about 32 ATP molecules per glucose. I'm Luis Uribe, an SI tutor for AMP Biology, and I was sponsored by the Office of Student Success.